Hi, welcome, beautiful, beloved souls. My name is Gem Stone, and I'm an author and psychic medium. Now, I can't, unfortunately, make this a PowerPoint. It's too out there, too intense. So, we're going to look at COGNIFY, spelt COGNIFY. And we're going to look at two parts. One is the conspiracy, and the second is the truth. So, let's look at the conspiracy. In the conspiracy black budget narrative, COGNIFY is presented as a neural sentencing system used in secret trials, shadow prisons, and elite behavioral labs. The idea is a small neural implant is inserted behind the ear or at the base of the skull. It overrides the brain's time perception and centers, which is the prefrontal cortex and hippocampus. The subject experiences years or decades of imprisonment inside their own mind, but only 2 to 5 minutes pass in the real world. They claim it works by generating vivid, continuous, artificial memories of prison life. Emotion amplification. It forces the person to feel the fear, boredom, loneliness, and monotony of incarceration. Some variants claim the system can simulate conversations, create looping routines, and force introspection cycles, like therapy, but coerce. The darker version says it can force the subject to relive their crime from the victim's perspective, generate surges of pain or panic equivalent to the victim's suffering, or induce remorse or identity collapse, breaking the ego. In this form, COGNIFY is framed as cheaper than physical prisons, and prisons at the moment are overrun, so it saves a person having to go to prison. It's also invisible, easily abused, and a tool for the government psychological control. Now, I am a conspiracy theorist, and I would love to believe this, but this version of COGNIFY is not supported by any evidence, but it's the version circulating in black projects and breakaway civilization circles. In other words, 1984 on steroids. So, part 2 is COGNIFY, the prison sentence that only takes 3 minutes. Imagine serving a 20-year prison sentence in the span of 3 minutes. You remember the loneliness, the routine, the remorse, the walls. It all feels real. Your mind believes you have lived it, but your body has never left the chair. Introduction to the concept. The idea of COGNIFY entered public discussion after futurist, and I'm going to mispronounce his name, I'm very sorry, Hashim Al-Gilai, spelt A-L--G-H-A-I-L-I, realized a speculative short film and interview describing a memory-based punishment system. Here is a quote from Hasham as reported in Dazed Digital. Imagine being able to serve a life sentence in only a few minutes. It would involve the implantation of artificial memories, making the brain believe it has experienced decades behind bars. The source is Dazed Digital interview on the COGNIFY concept. So his name again is Hasham Al-Gilai, G-H-A-I-L-I. I'm very sorry if I've mispronounced the names. Now, how it was reported in media. Let's do a Dazed Digital summary. Dazed, and you can find this on the internet yourself. Dazed reported that the concept was framed not as torture, but as a form of accelerated rehabilitation. Quote, COGNIFY would distort a criminal's sense of time using memory implants to simulate a prison sentence. Their tone, futuristic, rhetorical, questioning morality. Now, you can also Google Engajuget, I mispronounced that, or it's probably Engajuget. I'll spell it for you. E-N-G-A-D-G-E-T. Now you can find this yourself, and its summary, they covered it through a technological skepticism lens. Quote, there is currently no scientific basis for implanting long, coherent memories in humans. This remains speculative and conceptual. Their tone, this is sci-fi, not science yet. Now, you can also Google Snopes or Snopes, S-N-O-P-E-S, Snopes or Snopes, fact-checked summary. Snopes addressed the viral claim that COGNIFY was already being used. Quote, no such sentencing technology exists. The videos circulating online are based on a conceptual piece of science fiction. Their tone, debunking the already deployed rumour. Why people thought or think it is real. because the idea is technically adjacent to brain stimulation research, neural implants like Neuralink, memory reconsolidation studies, PTSD, memory and rewriting experiments. And also, I myself have a band, it's a Mendli, Mendli, and you put it on your head, you get an app on your phone, and with mindfulness and deep breathing, you move a ball. So, this conspiracy of COGNIFY version does sound plausible to the untrained ear. But neuroscientists stress we cannot implant rich, multi-year memory sequences. We cannot yet induce stable, artificial, emotional experiences at will. We absolutely cannot compress time perception to simulate decades. Yet. Listen to that word again. Yet. Y-E-T. Yet. Y-E-T. Let's look at if COGNIFY existed. Let's look at the ethical questions that are raised. Even as a concept, so this is a concept, COGNIFY raises disturbing issues. What is identity if your memories can be written? Is forced remorse rehabilitation or psychological torture? If punishment becomes internal, does imprisonment become invisible? This is why people call it the most Black Mirror punishment system ever imagined. COGNIFY doesn't exist. Not yet. But the question is no longer whether we could build it. The question is, would we? If punishment becomes a memory, what happens to the soul of the one who remembers? And please drop a comment. Have you heard of COGNIFY? And do you believe that somewhere in a lab the elite are testing this? Now, you know, like I said, I'm a conspiracy theorist myself, and I do believe that humans are being tortured in labs in all types of different ways. But COGNIFY was an invention that a futuristic, I can't say his name, I told you earlier, he came up with it. He invented the idea. It's a concept. It's not real yet, but I personally, myself, am subscribed to channels on YouTube that have thousands of subscribers, and they're saying this is real. And the more people push and believe and misdirect, the more we are blind to what is really going on. So the more things, lies, falsehoods we're being fed, our eyes are blinded to the truth. Remember that. Thank you for watching. Please be kind to each other and to yourselves. And you can understand why I could not make this into a PowerPoint. You just got me. All right. Enjoy the weekend. Love, light, and blessings. And I appreciate every one of you. Bye.